Sandegrift.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Ruffino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Sandegrift along with Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro here with us. Nathan back in the studio. Glad that you're with us on a hot and somewhat hazy day here in Baton Rouge. Bruce Marshall with us today, Chris Massaro with us today, Henry Hayes with us today. The NBA draft is in the rearview mirror. We're playing golf in Detroit. Jimmy, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How about you,
Yeah,
Charlie?
Doing just
Max killed our pick on Ben Griffin, trying to get greedy.
Yesterday,
we had to blame somebody.
Ben Griffin was 500 through 7. I said, I'll take 9 under right now.
No, we talked about it. Was it? Yeah, it was through 7.
500 through 7. He was rolling to give you. Yeah, I would have loved 10 or 11 under, Jimmy, but I would have taken 9 under, and you kind of scoffed at that idea.
I did. One of the second hottest golfer in the world on the easiest track, and it played easier than any track yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was easy peasy.
Those pictures they took with the 62s yesterday, are they already defunct?
Multiple 59 alerts, 30-something bogey-free rounds. What do you say? How many bogey-free rounds in the first round of a tournament pick typically? Handful?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So 5.
Less than 10?
Okay.
Way less than 10, probably.
It's playing a little.
5.
Yeah.
It's playing a little easier today by about a half
Is it really?
shot. They got a bunch of rain right before this tournament, and so they played preferred lies. They get to lift, clean, place it, and the greens are softer, which those guys tear that up. So we're expecting more scoring this afternoon as well.
You told me when I walked in today.
The guy hit it on the damn cart. The little
right
vehicle
now.
that like a light stand or something.
It was a camera stand,
Camera
right?
stand.
Yeah, one of those big arm, cameras.
I know, but
the camera booms.
He's in the cart.
He put it in the seat that you used to drive the cart.
Yeah. Max wants him to hit it out.
Off the seat?
No.
Rabelais does.
Play it as it lies. It's not quite.
Well, they made him move the whole boom. He got to drop where the boom was.
I think he deserves a drop there.
He actually.
I thought he deserved a drop. I thought they'd make him drop it left or right of the boom. They
Correct.
moved the whole boom.
Originally, they were going to make him left or right, and then he's like, "Look, I want a better lie. I want it sitting under this boom where the grass might be matted down, and that's he gets a right to that. If you hit it in like somebody's shirt or pocket or something, you get to place it right where the ball is basically over." So.
I walk in and I said, "How's Griffin doing?" Because I had an appointment this morning, this morning, and he said, "Well, he's 5 under for the day, and he's 1 shot back." And it looked like he just lost it. He felt like he just lost the golf tournament because he hadn't made enough birdies. So we're hard golf fans to please, right? 2 weeks ago it was too hard. This is too easy. We're like Goldilocks and the Three Bears here. What's just right?
I will say Jake Knapp is 11 under through 17, so we've got a low round of the tournament so far. He's rolling right now. But I will say I like it when it's hard. So, you got to speak for yourself when you're saying it was too hard.
No. I said we clarified that.
Yeah.
Too hard with the weather, not the course itself. Too hard with the weather. So the Rocket Classic still going on. Pot Gator.
Hideki with
up there at 12.
A female caddy. Is co-leader right now, and he's got 2 holes left, so he's the guy. Here's Ben Griffin. He's down to 11 under, his second shot on 8. He played the back 9 first earlier today. Second hottest golfer in the world. It just went to a par fest. That's not good with these conditions on this course. Where is that? I think that's about 10 feet away.
All right.
Oh, it froze on me here, so the ESPN watch. But
More Kyle fire any caddies this morning, or make it all the way through the round?
He putted
He's
poorly.
going through a fussy stretch. Give him his passy.
Hideki, by the way, did not fire his caddy. Jimmy, it's just dealing with a visa issue. I think his normal caddy, so he's got a different.
How many female caddies are there?
Not many. There have been wives on the bags before.
Wives. That was homeboy. Was that the guy with the brain surgery? Was his wife on it?
Gary Woodland? I don't think so.
No, well, then the other one. She was like pretty lady. Obviously, golfer's wife is pretty. But anyway, I mean, and she was She was on the back. I think he won like Pebble Beach one time. This golfer. Come on, Max, you should know this.
Didn't Morikawa's guys get caught like in London or something, and they had paperwork problems? Was that him with the caddies after he won a tournament?
That's possible.
Yeah.
No, that was
but
after
that was a
the
long
British
That's
shot
been a long
caddy
time
he
ago,
had.
though.
Yes.
So.
Damn,
Nick Faldo had a
2023.
Yeah.
Nick Faldo had a female caddy for quite some time. Very good.
Well, when you're struggling and you're frustrated, caddies gonna get some of it. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, these caddies are counselors, psychologists, as much as they are, technical assistants.
Mm-hmm. NBA draft finished up last night. Pelicans take Micah Peavy from Georgetown with the number 40 pick.
2 guys from Georgetown taken. That's not the team I saw last year.
Yeah. Well, he was he had been at, this was his third school.
Okay, but they played for Georgetown last year.
He played for Georgetown
was
last year.
improved. We know about their coach, which we love, but little Rutgers type of feel to him.
Maybe that's not. Peavy's numbers were fine. He's a 6'8". He's a wing guy. That's not what bothered me about the pick. Nothing terrible, but I got to point this out, okay? They took Micah Peavy from Georgetown. They took Derek Queen from Maryland, okay? They traded for Jordan Poole, who was with Washington. They traded for Sadiq Bey, who was with Detroit previously. Am I the only one worried that Troy Weaver just is going to marries the guys that he sees right off the top of that he sees every morning, and there's no foresight behind past that? Queen may be fine. We talked a lot about him yesterday. We don't have to go through the scouting report again. But he was right there, and his son was on the staff. So boom, we're going to take him. Peavy was in Georgetown. Weaver was in Washington. Poole was in Washington. Bay was in Detroit. And not for nothing, but, Jimmy, you make a point. Georgetown wasn't any good last year. Maryland was. Maryland had a good team. The Wizards have been a terrible franchise, and the Pistons are just now pulling themselves out of the ditch from years of whatever, okay? Am I the only one worried that they fall in love with guys and that's just who they're going to take?
I will say last 10 games for PV were a lot different than most of the season.
I got no problem with him as a player. His scouting report checks out. This is where he's supposed to go.
I didn't notice any pros on Georgetown's team last year, and they had 2 of them drafted, but, hey, whatever.
You can get guys drafted off the good players off of bad teams. I'm
talking about. I would talk about that, but I mean, you watched Auburn and South Carolina last year. Max and I were talking about it before the show, but Janai Broom, this guy from South Carolina, his 9th pick, and Janai Broom was in the second round.
35th,
I understand. I have my concerns about Janai Broom's game translating to the NBA, but I also got this guy. As much, if not more, about this guy's ability to translate. So, but am I being sort of hypocritical to my own theory, Charlie? Like, okay, well, he didn't have a whole lot of talent surrounding him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's easy to good. Like, I mean, it's.
I don't have a problem with this guy in a
second round.
It's a second round pick. He's probably not going to.
We're not killing anybody.
I'm not killing anybody. I'm trying to figure out what they want to do. Because you're drafting reciprocal parts. You're drafting the guys that you're trading for the guys that you're most familiar with, who have had sporadic success at best. I mean, this is not somebody that's trying to recreate the Golden State Warriors here. It's not somebody that's trying to recreate one of the Laker dynasties. You're putting the band back together from the Wizards and the Hoyas and the Pistons. That it concerns me just a little bit. There's also
have you done the same? Have you dissected previous general managers' second round picks?
No. And on the heels of a different set of picks and trades, I wouldn't. You want to draft a guy from Georgetown? They've produced plenty pros. I don't have a problem with that. Yesterday I called them short-sighted for what they're doing, and I still believe that. And I'm observing the players that they are acquiring. They are
'Cause it's
acquiring.
new. You're trying to get a feel.
I'm trying to get a feel
Yeah,
for what it
but
is
don't
that they're
overdo
trying to do. No,
Yeah.
it's 2 minutes in the open on June the 27th. I don't think I'm overdoing
bro, I'm
it.
not saying, but don't mislead people because it's during the summer.
All these
I
guys
mean,
may be good. All these guys may be good. I'm trying to get a feel for what it is they're trying to accomplish. And what I think they think is that Queen can be a centerpiece, a real cornerstone of the franchise. I mean, in fact, Dumars did he not use that word?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So if he is, great. I got a hard time seeing how he operates on the side of Zion because it's a lot of similarities into how you got to play through those guys. But okay, the future of Zion is what they have earmarked him as still the face of the franchise. A lot of people think that with the way this draft is going and stuff, they may look to move Zion at some point later in the year. Maybe that's the long-term play. Put this group on the floor, let Zion get enough quality minutes and stay healthy for long enough that his trade value gets to a point where you can move him.
But Charlie, this move was made as if they're in win now mode.
Yeah,
that's what the trade is. There's just doesn't make sense.
No.
And if they think that highly of him, why didn't they take him 7th overall? If they think that highly of him.
So the Queen move is win now mode, and my gosh, the pick before that is just complete opposite.
Yeah.
The kid from Oklahoma might be great, but he's gonna have a learning curve.
Developmental player.
Sure.
Well, I mean, he's super. He should be a freshman in college.
Yeah, he's 18 years old, and
I mean, a young freshman in college.
Mm-hmm. He's got a way.
So that the inconsistencies there, but those have more top 10 pick, what you gave up to move up to get Queen, second round,
Right. The one thing I will give them credit for is that they're acting decisively. They are not sitting and saying, hey, we're just waiting to put this team healthy on the floor again. And I do wonder if DeJounte Murray was healthy, how much different this might have gone, because you're going to end up without him for all of next season. So I don't know how that would have changed their thinking for next year. It'll be different.
So Janai Broom going way later than the guy from South Carolina kind of catches my attention. The other thing from a college basketball perspective, certainly multiple players from Georgetown taken. We talked about the whole Rutgers, two top 5 picks, and they couldn't make the tournament. So is that more of an indictment to like having the number 1 overall pick, whether it's Michael Olowokandi or Ben Simmons and not making it to the tournament? I think so. I mean, 2 top 5 picks. And then I thought my eyeballs tell me that John Shire did a solid job with Duke. I thought they were well coached, especially with so many new pieces. But damn, your whole starting 5, and they want to celebrate it. Duke wants to plaster. Oh, we had all our starting 5. No, that's kind of an indictment on your coach. Or where they go to Final Four and just lost a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's the way I took it. I mean,
but damn, your whole starting 5 is drafted. You should win it all. Cooper Flagg, and is your number 1?
I don't know if I can indict Shia just because it came down to
You don't
to
think
one
that's
game.
a little knock on him? That's only being fair. That's a concern.
If they had gone, 28-7 or 28-9 or something like that, then you say, yeah, man, you lost a lot of games. You lost one game in the Final Four. They had the shot with the guy you wanted taking the shot. She didn't make the shot.
Well, there's 63 teams that lose one game.
Well, I understand that, but they had a pretty good run through the first 30 and then into the tournament and get them to the Final Four. I see what you're saying. Well, it's a weak league, but they beat the first 4 teams they played in the tournament too. So I mean, you make to the Final Four. I don't want to. I'm not good. I thought Shai did a nice job last year.
But you got. I just kind of. I mean, I don't. No, that's not a celebration of your program. That's more like, okay, coach. That's just my deal.
Well, they're doing the Kentucky thing. They're how many years did Calipari go to the draft and grandstand and hot dog because, hey, look at all of the guys that got drafted? That's a recruiting tool.
He's always recruiting.
Yeah, that's it. That's a recruiting.
You
tool.
never saw Shire this whole thing.
No, now
Calipari would be there,
and it's a different recruiting landscape now too. You got to be out there and you got to have the money to do it.
The other thing is there's a lot of college players being taken, and I think the college game is It's gotten a little better. We compare, college baseball and the MLB, and it's a gap and stuff, but it's tightening. And the NIL, this is a good thing, but we crush. Yeah, it's not like.
Well, how do you feel about Hunter Dickinson?
He went undrafted.
Pelicans signed him this morning. It's on a 2-way deal. Undrafted. Okay.
Oh, he's
that guy was as productive as college players.
Diego Pavia of basketball.
Yeah, I mean he's
Quinn Ewers of basketball.
I mean he averaged right at a double-double for 5 years of college basketball, and all big-time college basketball. 3 at Michigan and 2 at Kansas. And is he ever going to be a rotational guy in the NBA? I don't know. I'd sign him to a 2-way contract. Bring him in.
He could
bring him in on a 2-way deal. I'm fine with that.
Yes, indeed. Crawfish mac and cheese, one of our appetizer features today over here with the Louisiana crawfish tails and smoked Gouda. Another appetizer feature available today and throughout the weekend. The filet skewers, grilled filet, sriracha, and Worcestershire marinade. Entree features the ribeye feature, 16-ounce, 44 Farms ribeye, roasted corn and tomato salsa, brulee burrata al verde, and roasted potatoes. Suggested wine pairing is a Turnbull Cabernet out of Napa. Crispy fried flounder, polenta, steamed asparagus. Suggested wine pairing is a Frank Family Chardonnay out of Napa as well. Dessert feature is the vanilla custard pie with blackberry coulis, raspberries with some mint as fresh mint as well. Boy, I was over here for brunch on Sunday. Had the Eggs Benedict. Man, you talk about outstanding. Little Charlie Mack. He had the fried chicken sous vide to kind of tenderize it and flash fry is really good. So, they had a really good menu for brunch this past weekend. I'll give you some of the other things that were available: waffles, omelets. Kind of a hidden little secret. Ruffino's brunch on Sundays.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Hit Moss Max and Les Tex during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, 4 cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Live at lunch with Adjani from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Chris Massaro joins us right now. Chris is going to be with us in Las Vegas for the Radio Row for the football sign-up and radio or second annual Circa Radio Row for the football sign-ups for all of their football contests in August. Chris, how you been, bud?
Great, Jimmy. Is there any way we can reconnect? Because I'm cutting out for like 5 seconds at a time. I can't hear what you're saying.
All right,
Okay,
Nathan.
yeah. Go ahead. Reconnect him if you could back in the studio. Who's running the board today?
Nathan.
So Nathan, just call him right back. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you call 296-0060. Our great team over at Legacy Title, we talk about them all the time, but how about Chad Reynolds celebrating 23 years of business with 23 Jell-O shots?
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to
That's
sell.
the way you do it. 23 years, 23 Jell-O shots. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060. Chris, you okay now? Can you hear us a little bit better?
I'm here, but I'm still getting that. There's like a something on your end where I can't hear you for like 5 seconds.
Okay. All right. Anything to take away from the NBA draft from a college basketball perspective or anything else?
I think you asked me about the draft, but I was very high on Queen, so that's a good pickup for the Pelicans. I was hoping he went in the top 10. I had a bunch of top 10 and even top 5 bets on him. I really thought he was just a really good player for Maryland, a big that could handle the ball, can shoot threes, can penetrate, good defender. I mean, I just can't believe he dropped as far as he did. I'm not so sure I would have given up that unprotected first for next year. They probably should have just taken him with their first pick and then dealt with the rest of that later, but it is what it is. I really think he's going to be a solid player. I saw what the coach said. If he was white and from Europe, he would have been the first pick in the draft. So I really applaud that pick by the Pelicans. So good for you guys.
Hey, it's kind of very common as far as we're talking about. Fine, as far as a player, but no, you gave up too much, to move up that way. I mean, look, Milwaukee. Or New Orleans, they're worse. The best pick between them next year could be really, really good. That doesn't equate to it. And then you gave up another pick as well. What specifically about Queen's game? Give me some things, because I watch him play a lot, and he really had a good finish to his college career in the tournament. Obviously, the big buzzer beater there against Colorado State. But what specifically you like about his game?
Well, he's 6'10", and he can handle the ball. He can shoot threes. He can penetrate. We saw what he did with that last second shot in the tournament. So I mean, this guy has pretty much got it all. He's only, what is he, 20 years old? He's only played 1 year in college. I mean, he came from a really good high school program. I mean, I just think the talent level for a big guy in this type of NBA where the big guys are shooting threes more, you can stretch the floor, you can bring their big guy out to defend him. He has the ability to either go by him. He's a good passer. He can shoot the ball. I just think he had a lot more talent than the experts were saying he did, and I really thought he had a shot to go in the top 10. When the draft was about to kick off on Wednesday night, he was odds on to go to the Pelicans. So I thought my top 10 bet was a lock. Eventually goes to him later, but I just really like his game. I think he has a lot of potential in a perfect fit for today's NBA.
You know what I like about him is he's a good free throw shooter, and a lot of times that'll give you an idea what kind of shooter they're going to develop into. He's 6'10" and with shoes on, and he shot 77% as a freshman from the line. That's pretty good. They didn't ask him to shoot a lot of threes, but that's something that gives you an idea. The true shooting percentage. When you're that big and you shoot free throws that well as a freshman, you got a lot of room to improve.
Absolutely, and I think he's got a little bit more mental, stable mental aspect than a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. We always talk about but for his size, and we saw that in Karl Anthony Towns was over an 80% free throw shooter as a freshman, the best I've ever seen for a freshman 7-footer, and he's a headache to deal with, but his talent and his ability to shoot for a big is outstanding. I think he can extend his game a lot as well. Chris, what's your take on your hometown team, the Boston Celtics, and everything that's going on there? What's up?
Well, I mean, they didn't have much to do, on the draft. I mean, I guess I really like the kid from Kentucky, the lengthy Williams kid. He had some crazy stats where only maybe one or two other players in college basketball history had so many points, blocks, rebounds, steals, some sort of crazy stat. It's just like an athletic freak, and a really good fit for the team. The Hugo pick. Who knows? A lot of people say, like, even if you go to look, European players, you go look and see what Fran Fraschilla says. They say he's a potential really high energy scorer, but I'm not really versed on the Spain the Spain league or the Spanish league. So I'm happy that they traded Porzingis, and I'm happy that they traded Holiday. I don't know if there's some sort of, they say there's a deep state in politics. I was joking the other night that there's a deep state in the NBA because the elite teams seem to somehow always get out from under these horrific contracts that no one else would want. And the Celtics in back-to-back days were able to get rid of two of those contracts. And I can't believe they even got anything back for Holiday. Not only did they get somebody back, they got back a really good player in Anthony Simons, 20 points a game last year. And in the Porzingis trade, the guy we don't even know if he's healthy. He had this mystery virus.
Yeah.
We get able to ship him off to Atlanta. We get Niang back. Not a big deal, but Niang likes to shoot a lot of threes. So, I like the pieces in place. I was hoping they were actually going to trade Jaylen Brown maybe for a higher draft pick, get into the top 10, really blow it up, and then get out all the young guys next year, for the following year when Tatum comes back. But, I guess they didn't want to give up Jaylen Brown, one of the leaders of the team. But very happy with what Brad Stevens pulled off in the last week. I didn't think they'd have any chance of doing that, but I'm shocked that the Portland Trailblazers GM, who know what on earth are they thinking, bringing in Drew Holiday, $104 million left on his contract for a guy who can't play back-to-back nights. I can just see him sitting in street clothes half the games.
Brown's the one I wanted to ask you about because it surprised me a little bit that they would have actually listened to offers for him, but the caveat was they were going to have to be knocked out of the chair to move him. So what's Jaylen Brown worth? I mean, we see some of these deals where, a guy like Mikal Bridges or Desmond Bain are going for multiple first-round picks. What's a finals MVP? What would it take to move Jaylen Brown out of Boston? And I'm not sure he heard me.
Chris, you there?
Yeah, you were saying about Finals MVP with Jaylen Brown.
What's it going to take to move him? Do you think? What's the chances of moving them?
Well, I thought. I mean, the chances were going to be from before the draft. You know, there was talk that San Antonio was really interested in Jaylen Brown, and if you listen to Shams and all these other guys, they said that they took a plethora of offers, and you know they turned them down. Who knows if they're legit offers or not? But I was hoping, hey, maybe there was a chance they could trade him for the second pick in the draft. And like I said, next thing you know, you have Anthony Simons, you have Dylan Hopper, and you're just doing a complete new rebuild because obviously you're not winning anything next year without Tatum, and who knows how healthy he's going to be when he comes back. So it was kind of like, hey, I think the main goal for the Celtics this offseason was just to get below that second apron, and now they're trying to get below the first apron where they don't get the repeater tax for the following season. They still have to trade another guy. There's a question if they're going to trade Hauser or not. But, I mean, just to get under that apron and get guys back and just alleviate those horrific contracts, which when they signed Drew Holiday, I just immediately could not believe that. Granted, they got the championship, can't complain. But just to unload his contract, masterful work from Brad Stevens.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. What do you make of the games the last 2 days in the MLB? Half are shutouts. I mean, what is? But you know, some hot bats and or some cold bats. I mean, Philadelphia wasn't shut out yesterday, but they were shut out for the first 7 by Hunter Brown before they scored in the 8th. But they scored 1 run in 3 games.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. Couple of those shutouts are really aggravating me because I have Tampa Bay most wins in June. They're on fire. They have 15 or 16 wins, and they can't catch the Astros. And the Astros just swept the Phillies. The Phillies only scored 1 run or 2 runs the whole series. They got shut out twice. Yesterday they got 2 runs, 1 run. So they lost 1-0, 2-0, and then 3-1. And I mean, the big bats of the Philadelphia Phillies can't even get it done. I'm going to need a loss somewhere by the Astros, and I hope the Rays keep winning. But how about this Tampa Bay Rays team? They're only a half a game back from the Yankees. The American League East is wide open. Toronto is right there as well. Boston just decided they saw me come up to Anaheim to the series this week, and they decided they were going to get swept. So that's where we are with the Red Sox. Very frustrating. They cut the lead to 4, and now they lost 5 in a row. Interesting. It's one of those Malinsky specials today. Boston heading back home after a long road trip, 3-game series on the West Coast, coming back to face that hot Toronto team. So we'll see what happens tonight at Fenway, see if the Red Sox can snap out of it. But, yeah, you're right. Yesterday was a frustrating day if you were betting overs in Major League Baseball. All these low-run games, getaway day games where the teams are just like, hey, let's swing at the first pitch and get out of town. We got the dinner reservation, or we got the early plane flight out of town.
Well, it was also on Wednesday as well. So I mean, there was a lot of getaway games on Wednesday also, but half of the games the last 2 days in Major League Baseball were shutout wins. Shutout. I mean, a lot of goose eggs there. Talking about the Cubbies come into Houston to take on the Astros. They got their top 5 pick on the mound tonight for the Cubs. You dodge Hunter Brown. So I mean, he's been outstanding. Wayne State. I mean, a 5th-round pick out of Wayne State. The scout that signed him wasn't even originally selling. Somebody said, man, this kid from Wayne State's throwing tomorrow. He throws pretty hard. You might want to stay and watch him. Okay, I'll extend my stay. That's how the scout that signed him was scouted, the kid from Hunter Brown.
The All-Star game started right now, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, indeed. His numbers are unbelievable. But, Tampa Bay, just little things, Chris, like nobody can get a bunt down in Major League Baseball. They're up by 2 late innings like the 8th.
Oh, let's not talk about the bunting. I don't know if you probably weren't watching this game, but
no, but I'm talking about
Tuesday night. Oh, go ahead.
No, but Tampa Bay, I mean, they squeeze play because they can use an extra run. It was a 195 9-hole hitter. You get something productive out of him. But just some of the little things for Kevin Cash, man, at Tampa Bay. It's every year. They don't have a home field advantage this year. I mean, it just every year, man. They the operational aspects with the resources they have are unbelievable.
No, I agree with you, and I applaud that type of play. If you saw the Red Sox game on Tuesday night, they needed to get a bunt down. The guy tried to drag bunt twice, fouled it off. Then the next pitch, instead of just striking out, grabs into a double play. It was about us. The Red Sox. I just can't believe how unfundamental a team can be. No one makes more errors. No one gets more guys thrown out on the base pass. And to your point, in the same division where you have an absolutely lock of a fundamental squad, great manager, they do more with less at Tampa Bay every single year. They don't have these big superstar players or the big superstar contracts. Some guys do have good years here and there, but it's just a fundamentally sound team. They play the game the right way, and that pays off in the win column as they're only, they're chasing down the Yankees right on the hill.
You just got to have that club in your bag. I mean, there's times when it comes up, you don't want to make a big deal out of it. Real quickly, we're overdue, but Bregman with the Red Sox has said that he's willing to redo his deal. What exactly does that mean?
So he has a opt-out clause for next year, and he's definitely going to opt out. If he wasn't hurt from earlier, he was having a monster year. I mean, he was probably one of the better hitters in the league. He's basically the most clutch guy on the Red Sox, the only guy that could come up with a clutch hit at the early part of the season. But he signed a 3-year deal, but he has an opt-out after year one, of course. So he's definitely going to opt out, and he's going to probably hold the Red Sox over the barrel and see what happens, because if not, he's going to be going bye-bye, and then you're going to basically alienated your best hitter, Devers, he's gone, and then you're going to lose Bregman, not too good either. So that should be interesting to see what happens if the Red Sox pony up the money to keep him. So we'll see.
Chris, great stuff as always. Good luck to you this weekend, brother. We will talk to you soon. Saratoga, their meet starts next week as well. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, yeah, we'll be talking. We'll be talking soon. Sorry about the bad connection today. I'm not sure what was going on.
Got you, brother. No problem. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. United Community Bank, your business is our business at United Community Bank. We support the hardworking folks behind local business, from initial startup loans all the way to ongoing planning and assessments. United Community Bank is here for you, and our great team of bankers are always available to help you through this process. Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. Stop on by and discuss how we can help your business today in every step of the way. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Ruffino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sale.
Hello?
Henry's at 12:30 instead of 11:30.
12:30?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
To go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. Couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square. Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And return here at Ruffino's live at lunch. Manning Passing Academy going on this weekend down in Thibodaux. 27 collegiate quarterbacks are on the staff, I guess staff, counselors, whatever you want to call them this year. Garrett Nussmeier talking this morning says that he agrees with Brian Kelly that this is LSU's most talented roster since he's been there. So good.
Great. Brian, way to go, baby.
Hey, listen. I mentioned it because we're going to talk about the camp here in a second. The year that Joe Burrow went down there and he said, "Look, we're going to average 50 points a game," and everyone was like, "Okay."
I thought he was doing that at SEC Media Days.
Well, he's the first time I heard him say it was at the Manning Passing Academy. He may have said that also at SEC Media Days that year.
Steve Spurrier counseling?
I don't know, but when he said that, I remember the first time I heard him say it was at the Manning, and it was like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. And of course, they did it. So
no, I'm talking about the Manning Academy. Steve Spurrier counseling down there?
I don't think so. Why? Because he's 50 points a game guy, talker.
Oh no, he just threw a little shade toward
Arch Manning. Yeah, I did see that.
So what do you feel about that?
Spurrier's liable to say anything.
This guy does the same thing I do, but you just say you blow it up. Not nothing, but you call me a hater when I throw the shade their way.
You have a lot longer history than Spurrier with comments towards the Mannings.
This guy really, he pops them, boy.
Listen, I've watched Arch Manning play in person in high school, and I think he's a terrific talent, but I'm not ready to coronate him as the number one pick in next year's draft just yet, or as a Heisman Trophy winner this year. He is obviously going to be down there this weekend. Max, we're sending our scout. Max is going down there. Who do you, out of these names, because there's a couple guys that I'm curious about, but you got anybody on your radar?
Yeah, I'll be looking at the big names. I like to look more for the middle guys, honestly, at this, because the big names, the pro prospects tend to stand out, of course. Like, you kind of expect that. But Drew Aller, Phil Steele has Penn State number 1 in his preseason ranking, which you don't see a whole lot of Penn State love for national championships over
easy schedule for
the years.
Phil, yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see Drew Aller. Obviously, Cade Klubnik, you play him week 1, so I just kind of want to see just how his deep ball. It's hard to tell the best players because you can tell all their deep balls look the same. Their footwork is sound. So I just kind of want to see some of the back end SEC guys like Blake Shapen last year. You could kind of tell he was a step behind the rest of the SEC when you saw him throw. I'm sure he'll be back this year. But
there's two guys that I'm curious about. You take a look at this weekend. One of them is John Mateer at Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. He had a fantastic season last year at Washington State. A lot of people thought he was the number one quarterback in the portal. If Garrett Nussmeier had decided to go pro, he would have been on LSU's radar big time. There's no question about that. So I'm curious about him because Oklahoma is one of those teams that could go either way. They could slide back to 7 wins, or they could go up to 10. And the other one is Lenore Sellers, who I'm extremely high on at South Carolina. I loved what I saw last year. If he continues to develop, he could be just an absolute monster because all of the tools are there.
From what you can see, and it's, I don't know how limited. I've never been, Max, but you kind of insinuated that if we know his leadership qualities, his mobility, his size, and his arm, it's just if he blends in and looks like he's throwing the ball as on par with these guys, that's a level of appreciation and expectation for him to take that next step.
No doubt. They're not doing any running, so you take that out of it, right? Mateer's a pretty good runner himself. He's mobile. He can make plays with his feet. So that's not going to stand out, but it's arm strength, and then you just look at technique, right? Is their ball kind of fluttering toward the end of the routes? How do they go through their process? That's kind of what you look for, and the best players typically stand out. The big arms, Joe Milton always stands out in this event. Joe Milton, I'm not saying is a pro-level prospect, but that's just kind of what you get out of it. But it is interesting to see, like I said, the middle tier of quarterbacks, just how good they are, how pretty their ball looks, and things like that.
Oh, one of the guys has got his name on the camp. Didn't throw a ball that was that great.
No, maybe he wouldn't have succeeded very.
It'd be Peyton Manning too. He had a lot of flutter to his ball.
Maybe he wouldn't have stood out in his own camp. But it's a bit of a showcase tonight. It's kind of for the local Thibodeau residents to go check out, have some fun. But that'll be starting at 8:00.
Penn State will be underdog in one game. At Ohio State, they'll be favored in the rest of them. So
let me ask you about South Carolina for a second. The chances that they come to Baton Rouge undefeated, because I think they got some real toss-up games here. They play at home against Virginia Tech in the opener. I think that they will win that game. Then Vandy, Missouri, and Kentucky. There's none of those games that they can't win. There's none of those games that they'll be, even at Missouri, they won't be underdogs, certainly not big underdogs, or maybe even underdogs, period. They could get here in week 6 undefeated.
How much of that defense do they have coming back? That was kind of the backbone of their team last year, making a couple.
That's what I'm saying about Sellers. Can he make that? Can he make that jump?
That would be good news because LSU's home schedule not the best. So South Carolina, you get them October 11th. You've got Florida early
coming
on.
Off of a bye.
You're looking for big games on the schedule. South Carolina could certainly be one of them.
Coming off of a bye too after the Ole Miss game.
Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. It's hot. That AC breaks down, man. You got to call our friends over at Total Maintenance. Again, give them a call at 480-1000, 480-1000. So, we also have membership programs that cover all of the services that we offer with discounts and extended warranties as well. Founded in 1980, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies in the area. Total Maintenance, 480-1000. Service today, every day. Same-day service means you'll never sleep hot. Call us today. Get service today. AC breaks down. Call the folks that support the show here at Live at Lunch. It's Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Live at Ruffino's, Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730. Now everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU. Now everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The live arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Live at lunch with Adniani from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because when it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. Let Coastal Capital Advisors work with you the way they worked with our family, your business partners, your legal team, tax professionals, to make sure all your goals are achieved no matter where you are in life, no matter what your income. Coastal Capital Advisors will work with a plan tailor-made for you. That's exactly what they've done for our family. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376, or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. I guess we're going to call it the PAC 8 again. I don't know. Texas State is going to make it official on Monday. They had to call a meeting today to make it official on Monday, so they have to double.
Modest growth, huh?
Yeah, so they don't have to double their departure fee. But this is what the PAC, I'm going to call it the PAC 8 for now, is going to look like in 2026. Oregon State and Washington State, the holdovers. Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Utah State, Fresno State, and now Texas State.
Yeah, Texas State's kind of the weak link of that.
Is DJ Kenny now 8-5 in back-to-back years.
It's a geographical stretch to begin with, which is not crazy. But Boise, Texas State's not Boise. It's not Fresno State. It's not San Diego State. Even though they might have had a little bit better team. What do they have to do to get Cal and Stanford back? I mean, how long are they going to
show them a map?
Well, they're well aware of that.
I know. They obviously don't have the money.
You think that's no shot?
I wouldn't say no shot, but
they've
rattled themselves.
Wouldn't that help?
It makes so much sense geographically, competitively, all of those things. But they followed the money, and that's
you want to get an even number. They want to get to 8 instead of 7. So Texas State's the best they could do, huh? Obviously, they're bringing them on, but
their footprint into the state of Texas, they feel like Texas State's got the most room for growth. Obviously, the program where it is now is not what they expected to be in that league, but I don't know that that's ever going to be. That's not a power anything league. It's a middle.
But somebody in you,
it's the best of the group of whatever.
Nobody else in the West
30.
that you can do. I mean, BYU's done.
BYU was the one that I would have
Utah's
targeted,
done.
but yeah,
I mean they're in stronger leagues.
And you missed a boat on that. Nope. But Texas State headed to the Pac, whatever we're going to call it. Hour number 2 straight ahead here at Ruffino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Fresno's got a pretty good history. They're not in. Yeah, they're in.
Live at Lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no 2 situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for total maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gate of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiella at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Recall alert? Due for an oil change? Brakes louder than the kids in the back? Bayou Ford can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same-day service. Schedule now at BayouFord.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
Brucey, how you doing, buddy?
I am pretty good. I am actually in Fresno this morning, so different spot. Back in California, if you can believe it.
Charlie,
they let me in.
Here's your guy. I mean, to ask about what we were just talking about going into the break about the new Pac-8 and how you feel about what it looks like. And we're looking at Oregon State, Washington State, San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Utah State, Texas State. Who did I miss?
Colorado State.
Colorado State.
Yep, that's your A, Bruce. So you remember when it was the Pac-8? Is this the Pac-8 again? Is this a good league?
No. And by the way, had Bill Walton not passed last year, news of this would have caused him to pass. I think he would have. This would have tipped him over the edge. So, no, I don't like it. It's just another. Listen, this is. This is all sort of. It started with UCLA and USC leaving. That was the first domino to fall. But it's another form of. It's just another Mountain West. That's basically all this is. They have disrupted the Mountain West. They've disrupted the West Coast Conference. They've impacted the Big West. Now they've impacted the Sun Belt with this. And for a league, it would have been a lot easier for them just to amalgamate those two Pac-12 schools with the entire Mountain West, except that's just a few too many slices of the pie. And they thought they got more money for the, Oregon State and Washington State thought that. This is an insult to the history of the Pac-12 and the Pac-10 and the Pac-8 before that and the AWU before that. This whole thing really reeks. And like I said, Bill Walton, had he been around, this would have been too much for him to take. But it's a lot. I don't think anybody's too happy about this.
Bruce, what about because I don't know how long it's sustainable to Stanford and Cal to stay in the ACC. I mean, with the obvious travel. I mean, who would have been a better fit to just geographically, because that's the one thing that you have going for them, and then Texas State just doesn't fit. Is there another candidate to come in there as Texas State? And do you think there's a chance that Cal and Stanford may pivot at some point?
It's possible, I suppose, Jimmy, because it does make more sense geographically. I mean, there would be a lot of those other Mountain West schools that would have sort of fit this better, but you would have had to further disrupt the Mountain West. And there are some contractual things that UNLV and Air Force and them committed to stick in the Mountain West. But west of the Mississippi, there weren't too many other candidates that were available to move. As for Cal and Stanford, like everything else, I think it just comes down to money. I think they're still getting paid more in the ACC than they would in this new form of the Pac-12. So I think that's what it comes down to, like everything else. But it is kind of funny, because I'm on my way up there now to the Bay Area, and it's almost like Cal and Stanford have sort of been cut off from the college sports world. I mean, the ACC, the base of the ACC is so far away, and like they're not part of this, what used to be the West Coast Alliance there. So maybe you're right. Maybe at some point they will, but I have a feeling it's like everything else; it'll just come down to dollars and cents.
But with travel expenses doesn't come down to dollars and cents too. That's not factored in.
Oh yeah, of course, sure. That then you factor that in, and you factor, what their media deals are. So it all comes into. I think at this point they still feel they're better off with the ACC than they are in this new form of the Mountain West. One other thing about Cal and Stanford, they're pretty funny though about who they amalgamate with, because there's still some real elitism there, academic elitism. And they had, back as far as when the Arizona schools came in the old Pac-8 in the late 70s, Cal and Stanford had to be kicking and screaming, so they didn't like it. And so that's, and I'm not sure they were all that thrilled with Colorado and Utah coming in either 11, 12 years ago. So there's that other thing with Cal and Stanford.
Well, and forever they wouldn't let Boise State, because of their academic arrogance, would never let Boise State, into the Pac-10
Correct.
or Pac-12 because, it's basically a glorified junior college. But, if they want to do that, I mean, Oxford, England, can they, what conference are they in? What's stopping that?
Can I just say this? There was a really long piece in the Advocate about what LSU's doing now that the revenue sharing is coming into play next week, and how that's going to affect NIL and all the other things. And the quote was that they are trying very hard not to slash any. They're not cutting any sports. They're not, they're not cutting any salaries. They're not laying off anybody. But one of the things that they are looking at is regional travel, and they are cutting back. Now, this is LSU, which is pretty high up the food chain when you talk about this stuff, and they are going to curtail their travel in Olympic sports to more regional stuff. In other words, hey, you can't go play in the Maui Classic maybe if you're women's basketball, That's a men's tournament. It's a bad example.
No. We lose enough in this sport. We're not going to spend more.
You can play Oklahoma State, okay? You can play Baylor. You can play somebody in the region. You play North Carolina.
Paying the players in your major sports, your profit-producing sports, is going to absolutely. You should, but how's Title IX going to come into all this?
Well,
that's the thing.
Yeah, and when I say Olympic sport, I mean everything but football. I mean even. If you're talking about men's basketball, can you play somebody out of the ACC? Can you play somebody out of the Big 12? Or do you have to go to California and play? Well, now they're saying, you know what? Hey, play a little closer to home.
It's forcing to.
Jimmy, can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Can I address something you get really quick? What you and Charlie brought up, I think, last week, and right at the end, I never got time to talk about it. But you mentioned booster fatigue. And this sort of fits into what we're talking about here. I think that's a very real thing that eventually is going to hit. Because at some point, a lot of these fat cats it's a big ego thing. We know that. For a lot of these boosters, they'd love to throw the money at the schools, but they really don't have any equity in this thing. I mean, it's all for show. Almost all the booster money that comes in. But at some point, that every money person, you don't just keep shoveling money into a bottomless pit. You want some return out of it, other than just your ego gratification. And unless there's just a new source of booster money coming in, at some point, the booster fatigue thing you mentioned, I think is very real. And here's one real quick case. BYU suddenly has a new, now they got LDS Church, of course, but there's a few boosters there with all the high tech and around Salt Lake City and all that are now funding a lot of this BYU. BYU is a real major player. They got the top recruit in the country. But at some point, even these guys are going to say, you know what? BYU's not going to win the national. They're not going to the Final Four next year. That top Frosh recruit is going to go to the NBA probably after a year unless they pay him a lot more to stay there. At some point, a lot of these boosters are going to say, "What am I doing here?" That's just. I mean, it's not sound business, and that's how those guys got most of their money unless they inherited it. So I think that's a real point that you guys made last week. Booster fatigue down the road. We don't see a lot of it yet. A couple of years, if the schools keep counting on all this money, might be different story.
The booster fatigue ties in to what Charlie is bringing up as far as trying to be more cost effective and just not throw it around because their way was, we'll just lean on this booster. Well, we need some more out of you. We got to pay our players now. We need more out of it. Well, man, come on. I mean, at some point, they're worn out. No, you have to be a little bit more cost effective in how you schedule. I mean, yes, that's great. The women, what are they doing playing in Hawaii? They lose money anyway. You can't go to Hawaii for a tournament. You can't do it. I mean, so we can't. We can't eat a contract and go get a new coach if we're Florida football right now. No, we might have to see if it can work, with Billy Napier. And don't add on to these contracts and just pay. No, these college athletic departments have been run so careless because the main moneymaker, you didn't have to play the players. We got to pay them now.
Yeah.
So now, because our boosters are telling, man, more? You need more out of me? So they're finally having to do this.
You brought up the word, Bruce, equity, and I want to make sure I'm quoting the right person here. This was out of this piece. LSU Executive Deputy Athletic Director Kelly Zinn said LSU at this point is not considering private equity. But that's LSU, and that's today. There are some people that I know in the industry that think that private equity in college athletic programs is inevitable. Do you feel that way?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the next thing I was going to say. UCLA and Penn State are already starting down that road. Now, they haven't actually pulled the switch yet. But when you get to that point, then you are sacrificing ownership of your program. And I don't know, legally what this would be and the sort of money they're talking about, but that's where it's going. And then it could be, UCLA really doesn't own its athletic department anymore. Then somebody else owns it or owns part of it. And yes, I think that's where this is going. And I don't think that's what anybody could have envisioned several years ago. But I do think that's the case. And that's going to be, unless these boosters get, you're talking private equity now. You're talking about hundreds of millions and billions of dollars of funds coming in. And most boosters, very few boosters out there have that sort of money in the billions. A few do. But, if you're going to have that much money, you want some ownership in what you're giving money to. And that's the next phase. I'm not sure that's good, but that's, I think, where it's going.
Bruce, just for example, if the Lakers are worth $10 billion, if Penn State's football program went on the market tomorrow, what's it worth? Or Ohio State's, or USC's, or Alabama's, and I'm not joking about this. Okay, 20 years from now, that's ridiculous. 5 years from now, this may be a thing. Okay, what's Ohio State's football program worth? I have no idea. The Lakers are worth $10 billion. What's Ohio State's football program, or Texas's, or Georgia, or Alabama? Any of these monster brands, or LSU? What are they worth? I have no idea, but it's more money than we can fathom at this point.
You're right. And then you just want to say, okay, who? That's exactly. It might be in the B's. It might be in the billions.
I think it is.
In a few years,
I think it is.
Yeah, and the thing at that point, do you start calling? The name of it is going to be Ohio State / Nike or LSU / Shell Oil or something like that.
It's the Nabisco Nittany Lions. Okay,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It might be coming, but it's like because that's the path of least resistance, the easiest way, and these athletic departments have been working really, really in a lazy fashion.
Everything,
and just.
Everything's going to be like a bowl game. It's going to be named like a bowl game. Bowl games used to not have names either, but all of them do. So that might be going that way for the colleges. We'll see.
They got to find the money somewhere. Another part. There's going to be logos on the field this year in Tiger Stadium.
Was the Sun-Kissed Orange Bowl the first one? One of the first ones. Of course, the Blockbuster Bowl was flat out the name. But
the Blockbuster Bowl is the first one
Yeah.
I remember, as it was just the sponsor. It didn't have any.
But
it wasn't the Blockbuster something bowl. It was just the Blockbuster Bowl, and now that's obviously been common for a long time. No, it took me a long time to get used to corporate sponsors on the front of bowl games. A long time to get used to.
Bruce, Duke's entire starting five was drafted last night. Should Shire have gotten more out of them, or they made it to the Final Four and lost a heartbreaker to Houston? But Houston, how many guys did they have drafted last couple of nights? Do they have any?
Well, first of all, that must have been why NBA TV had Seth Davis on, because I turned it to him and said, "What's he doing on NBA TV?" He's a college guy. Wait a minute, it's Duke. I mean, maybe that's right. So I blame that for us getting another dose of Seth Davis here this week. It's fair questions, Jimmy. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe Kelvin Sampson did something superb when he knocked Duke off. Fair question to ask Shire. But again, the reality, I mean, all those guys are gone now. In the old days, you'd have had those players around a few years. Now it's one and done. And several of those guys in the top 10, including number one. I don't know. I mean, some of the names, besides Duke, there wasn't a lot of connection to top-level college hoops that you saw, especially in the first round of the draft. I mean, the Rutgers guys are up there. How about Steve Pikiell? You got two guys in the top six, and it could have been the top three if Bailey would have decided to, let other teams talk to him. Why wasn't Rutgers a little better last year? I mean,
that's
questions all the way around it.
Well, we talked about that a lot. What do you watch Derek Queen a lot out of Maryland? Of course, the Pelicans moved up. Gave up a lot to move up. They gave up too much to move up, but still, what's your thoughts on him and his game translating to the next level?
Maybe, but he's a work in progress. I mean, maybe in a few years he'll be able to be a force there. But I think there's a lot of these teams. It's a different world in the NBA draft. You're really drafting on potential now. I don't think they're thinking a lot of these guys. Cooper Flagg's an exception, but guys who can come in, and maybe Harper is, but guys who can come in and just contribute. It's sort of everybody's trying to find the next Jalen Williams from Oak City. And that's, I think, Queen's a big guy. There's not a lot of big guys who have, that sort of skill set, even though he's down the road. I'm looking at a guy like Cedric Coward. He was picked 11th in the draft. I mean, you're basing that on a career at Eastern Washington and about 7 games at Washington State last year. And he blew a little hot and cold in those games. But in these pre-draft camps, he showed pretty well. He decided he wasn't coming back to Washington State. Now he's the 11th pick. I mean, he did very little at the top level. So a lot of them are reaching at the NBA, and I don't know. Queen's one of them. He's a little different because he's a big guy, but there's a lot of gambles in the NBA draft when you see these guys picked who you didn't expect to see picked. I was glad to see Nick Clifford get drafted, though, in the first round by Colorado State, because he played his way into the first round, what he did at Colorado State, and he was a late pick in the first round ended up in Sacramento. I think got traded around. That's the sort of guy who I think could help, because we saw him do it and help quicker. But guys like Queen and Coward, I mean, they're longer-term projects, I think.
One of the games of the tournament, that Sunday evening Colorado State-Maryland game, without a doubt. I mean, great stuff last year in the tournament. And then Bruce, Oklahoma City finished it off. Halliburton goes down early. I mean, he knew the risk. I mean, he wins the next time. He's going to have one game to, a championship game that he's playing for. Maybe never. So the risk is obviously a competitor is going to take it. He was such a high level, but what's your thoughts on Oklahoma City and then the league? Good thing, bad thing, okay, no, it doesn't matter. But 7th straight year, the NBA has a different champion.
Yeah, I think that's probably good because most of the other, the power teams are still competing. I don't think it's great that the Celtics win every year. It's been a while since the Lakers could think they could do that, but they're always still in the mix. And I tip our hat, Oklahoma City, the way they kind of organically grew that thing, that was great. I feel bad for Indiana. I don't know if they're going to get back there again, and certainly for Halliburton. But another question here is, guys, there is an epidemic of Achilles tendon ruptures here. And you guys saw with DeJounte Murray with the Pelicans. I mean, he was one, and then you got Jason Tatum, you got Dame Lillard. Now you've got Halliburton. I think there's a few others. I don't know. I mean, that's sort of odd. This is a killer injury. This is worse than a knee because this is a full year you're out with this thing. So I'm wondering what the answer might be for that, or if it's just flukiness. But it seems to keep happening a little bit too much now. So I don't know. That's sort of the other storyline in this thing, I think.
All right, Brucey, take care. Be careful in the valley, baby. So.
Yeah, I move quickly. Here, They tax everything here, So I'm moving. Quickly.
They're not going to tax you for just walking around. Pat Hill, go look up Pat Hills. What's he up to, my man? The road warrior. Used to take his team on the road and knock off all those teams. So good stuff as
I know, that's right.
Yes, indeed. Brucey, thank you, man. We'll talk to you.
Boys.
All right, man. Good to see you.
Okay, boys.
He's got so much. He's not. Almost, what did I say? Sum it up. The Pac-8's efforts here are embarrassing to the history of how it just. Look, nothing's going back. We can't go back in time. The genie's out the bottle. But I mean,
they're putting this moniker, this branding on something that it was never intended to be on. The reason they kept the Pac-12 branding was, first of all, there was some money left over from the NCAA basketball tournament. There was some money left over from the Pac-12 network that Washington State and Oregon State inherited. They kept,
and they're trying to hang on and creating a new, BS type of just from scratch thing. There's still a little bit leftover branding from the Pac-12.
They've got
being a conference that was included as a Power 5 league.
There's a little value there, but remember when the Big East for a hot minute was considered a power football program, a power football league, okay? And what happened? You yanked Miami and Virginia Tech out of it, and that was the end of that. And pretty soon they were relegated. That's what this is. You're putting a power conference name on a non-power conference roster.
Heck, they had more than that was yanked out of there, huh, Charlie?
Well, those were the ones, though, that crippled it.
BC.
But Miami and Virginia Tech were the heavyweights when they pulled them out of there. They couldn't make it without those two guys.
Oh, boy. Things change, Charlie.
Yes, they do. Quite a bit.
Max was reminiscent about Indiana's undefeated national championship in basketball before you got here.
Was he reading about it on Wikipedia because it happened
Max's
way
history
before
lesson? He didn't know it.
You got to be nice to Max because he's going down to Thibodeau this weekend. Okay, to the man.
Okay, I got to be nice to Max. Why?
Because he's going to stop at Thibodeau. He's going to stop at Thibodeau's store and buy you something.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Let's go through a list of the things Max
I'll
could
be
buy.
nice after I get something from the Thibodeau store from Max.
Here
How
are the
about
things that
huh?
Max could buy you at the Thibodeau store.
Yes.
He could buy you a grill. He could buy you a griddle. He could buy you a crawfish pot. He could buy you a jambalaya pot. He could buy you fishing gear. You're a big fisherman, I know that. He could buy you Cajun cookware. He could buy you Cypress furniture. He could buy you a rocker.
Cajun
he could buy you a
cookware.
glider. He could buy you a bench. He could buy you a swing. All of those things.
How about a crawfish pot, Jimmy? You want one of those?
Power tools, hand
I got
tools.
one. I got a
okay.
good one.
Maybe a trap. You got any waterway behind
Give me
your
one of
house?
those big paddles, okay? His big paddles just about
I've got
worn out.
multiple paddles. I've got those. I like the nets. I like the that are exactly a pound. Or I'm sorry, about 3 to 5 pounds. A scoop. I like. I'm just in the grill right now. Jumped in the pool last night to kind of offset the heat, and but it helps a lot with the grilling on the green egg and all that stuff. I need a grill brush. I need some more tongs. I need just things to kind of build the fire. I mean, my electrical starter works perfect. I mean, I need grill items, Charlie.
Mike,
all right, just grill accessories.
Max, get your phone out, 900 St. Patrick Highway. Put it in your phone. Get directions down there to the Thibodeau store, or you can go online, thethibodeaustore.com. Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Henniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
It's kind of a sobering thought for these NBA rookies that are coming in. What kind of impact can they make? And you talk about how many years. Jimmy, who's the last guy to make the NBA All-Star game as a rookie? If you had to guess.
LeBron James?
James did not make the NBA All-Star team as a rookie. He's made it the 21 years since. As a rookie, he didn't. He was a rookie of the year, but he didn't make it.
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant didn't make it. One guy in the last 22 years has made the NBA All-Star team as a rookie. One. It's an amazing statistic when you think about the talent that's come into the association in the last 22 years. Since Yao Ming, one guy made the NBA All-Star team as a rookie.
Okay, who?
Blake Griffin with the Clippers, and that's it. Everybody else, even LeBron, even Durant, even Kyrie or Anthony Davis or any of the names that you want to go with. So when you say, look, these rookies have a transition period and maybe only a handful of them are going to make any kind of impact as a rookie, that's what we're talking about. Even Cooper Flagg, they had a bet last night on whether Cooper Flagg would average 20 points a game this year for Dallas.
And it's also the first half of the season.
That's for the All-Star team, sure.
So, I mean,
what would be realistic? Cooper Flagg. Now, Kyrie's going to miss most of the first 2/3 of the season, so there's some more opportunities.
I don't think Cooper Flagg's making an All-Star team next year,
and I don't think he's going to average 20 points a game either.
No,
I think he'll probably be Rookie of the Year if he doesn't get hurt, and I think he'll probably average 16, 17 points a game.
Very, very young. Man.
Yeah, and he's the best of that
group.
I don't think he's going to make it. So that's why that Dylan Harper for Jaylen Brown thing that Chris was talking about earlier. Man, that would be really interesting because San Antonio, you put Jaylen Brown on that team, and with Castle and Wembanyama.
I think San Antonio's in a spot that they can be very selective. Also,
they can.
They got a lot of. It's not just Wembanyama. They had the Rookie of the Year last year.
Stephon Castle.
They had some other. They've got some.
And you got De'Aaron Fox now running the points. So you got other pieces. And if you think about it, Dylan Harper, terrific talent, and going to be a player for them this year, but he's not going to be an all-star. Jaylen Brown's an all-star, okay? He's, 5 years from now, Dylan Harper may be the best guard in the league, but right now Jaylen Brown already is one of the best. It would have been an interesting trade for me. If I was San Antonio, I might have had a hard time saying no to that because they've got enough of these guys under rookie. They got two of their biggest under rookie contracts. They could have actually afforded Jaylen Brown and put him in there with three other stud players and zoomed up the charts, maybe. But you'd have had to take on $300 million worth of contract. So, just a thought with some of the stuff, some of the aftermath of the NBA draft.
Yes, pump the brakes on your expectation level of the guys you just saw drafted the last 2 nights.
I just read you a list of guys that have made double-digit All-Star teams that didn't get there as rookies, and that includes Victor Wembanyama, who was. I mean, how long was he the first pick in the draft?
I know one thing
3
that
years
helps
before
college
that?
basketball, too, because you guys can get paid. There are nearly as many G League guys. How many G League guys were drafted last night?
None.
Right.
None.
So, I mean, you're getting players to stay a little bit longer.
They changed the rules with it, yeah.
But the college game is it's that part of it. You got some. I mean, the guard at Tennessee doesn't want to leave. And Diego Pavia, he doesn't want to leave. There is a huge age discrimination thing when these NBA teams go to draft. And I mean, I actually heard somebody say, "Well, Derek Queen. Well, he's old. For a freshman, he's 20 years old." Old? He's 20 years old. They thought of him as old. And I can't give the Montverde coach any credit for having that hand in winning some games. I mean, come on, man.
He got dealt a pretty good hand, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean,
you got a Blu-ray handful of trumps, man. I can win. I can win.
Does Cooper Flagg really need to go to Montverde to get noticed, to get drafted? Really?
No.
I mean,
he would have. He would have
stay
been
in Maine, boy.
Well. No, not to get drafted, but how much did it develop his game versus the competition he would have got in Maine playing for them? I mean, he was going to get drafted anyway based on the potential.
Yeah,
but how much
part
did
of it. That's part
how
of
much
it.
better did
When
he
you're
get?
that advanced, you're looking for a challenge
to step up the level.
There's some truth to
level
that.
of competition.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't forget our friends downtown Town Square Pizza. It's coming in town for move-in day. Right around the corner. It's not far for the incoming freshmen from LSU. Just coming in town, whatever, to look for a place for that upperclassman to live for the fall semester. Whatever it is, you're coming downtown, you got to make your stop at Town Square Pizza. You work downtown. Town Square Pizza. It's affordable. It's a lot. It's fresh. It's piping hot. It's delicious stuff. It's Town Square Pizza. Downtown facing Town Square. I swear, it's hip to be square. Square-shaped pizzas, fresh, really good stuff. Downtown Pizza, Town Square Pizza, facing Town Square.
Live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Henry Hayes here.
Now everybody's been to Louis Cafe by
Okay.
It's over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Thunder Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in Laplace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, big cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Anjani from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Let's bring in Henry Hayes, recapping the NBA draft and the NBA season. Both. Henry, how you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, I'm good, man. How you?
Good. Let's start off with the Thunder. You were kind of nonchalant, didn't give the Pacers much of a chance, but in hindsight, the Pacers was it lost in Game 4? We know about the injury. What would have happened? Halliburton was certainly off, and then SGA too. When they talked to him after, he's like, man, I felt sorry. So man, the guy was playing out of his mind. He's a tough guy not to like. Just so I think the NBA is in a good spot as far as having him as being in such a high-profile spot. But just a recap on the Thunder. In the seventh straight champion, a different champion in the NBA, some diversity, spreading of the wealth at the top as well. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Jimmy, I picked him, I think at the beginning of the year and then also at the beginning of the playoffs, just because they had that unique blend of a lot of young talent that I thought, especially at the beginning of the year, I thought they'd figure it out. Now, that's not normal because normally you don't get a team with that lacking experience that wins it. I mean, we've talked this on your show 20 years. You know, Jordan had the Pistons. You know, Magic and the Lakers had to go through the Celtics, and they skinned their knee a few times. Every champion, you know, the Warriors, before Steph got going, you know, they got sent home early. So, you know, this team, though, I saw the right amount of grit and just enough veteran toughness that, you know, I think they were going to get it done, and they did. I think I attribute that to Jalen Williams mainly. Look, SGA is SGA. He got the MVP for a reason. But I think, Jimmy, you're talking about Williams. I think he's going to continue to grow in his game, and I think we're just getting a glimpse of what he could be. And then you pair, obviously, Chet, who you could argue is still kind of he's still playing his way back into his game after the injury. That's why they're going to be a problem for a while. And so, yeah, they got it done, and obviously the Pacers were in that Game 7. But, you know, to your point about 7 straight different champions, I mean, that's really healthy for the league, despite the fact that OKC is one of your smallest markets. But come on, this isn't the Lakers 3 in a row or, you know, some of those old dynasties where it got kind of boring. This is everybody's got a shot.
Well, Golden State with Durant, they would win it, and they were even money. I mean, it's them versus the field, you know, for the odds. That's crazy. That's not good. And I mean, I think it's but the NBA and historically as well, it's the one league where it's set up to have repeat champions. It's the more likely because your stars are in place. I mean, you can rip off and unless you have like the Lakers and Celtics and Pistons who are all there together and kind of sharing it a little bit, so they're at high level. But I mean, it's more prone to having repeat champions than the other leagues, if you ask me, and it's still 7 in a row. If you want to know if the Oklahoma City, they didn't think that the Pacers had their attention, it was Game 4 and early, and Chet goes down, and you don't know if he's hurt or not because, man, he looks like he's injury prone just looking at him, okay? And SGA, the microphone called him, hey, man, get up. We need you, bro. you need to get up. We need you. Yeah. And it was that Game 4 where mysteriously Indiana seemed to bait Chet Holmgren at the top of the key. And I said, well that's guys. You're taking on the toughest perimeter defender right there. But Holmgren is going to get a little bit bigger, stronger. But he's got to get more dependable on his perimeter shot as well.
He does, and he will get there, Jimmy, because he's still young. But you made me think of something with the way you laid that out. You know, back to LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, right? That was really the first beginnings of the super team. And the league and the media and a lot of the fans were said, okay, is this now what we're doing? Are we trying to get the big three? And, you don't hear that as much anymore. Even with, the Lakers tried to do it, didn't work. But you don't really hear that much of kind of a big three. I think that it really now the focus is on how you draft and how you develop, because it reminds me, Jimmy, of when the Seahawks made their run with Russell Wilson, and they did that because he was on his rookie deal, and they knew the second they paid him, you were going to be in a different era. And so now the league, it's like if you can get lucky in that draft to get some of that depth and pick up a guy like Lou Dort and make a really strategic signing like Hartenstein. And then you put them around those big three, well, you got something. And we know it's a copycat league, so I would expect that to be mimicked. But like I said, look what they did last night, Jimmy. They take the big from Georgetown, who they didn't need from him for 2 years. So they're now playing with some house money.
We have talked a lot about in Hanny especially about the Dumars and the new group with their approach to the draft because it's their newest one, and he's been kind of out of pocket for a while. So we want trying to get a feel of their approach. And then you have this one where they gave up the kitchen sink to move up to get Queen. That's usually a team that's, okay, the last piece of the puzzle. But then again, you spent a higher pick. You invest in a higher pick. That's kids that should be coming out of high school. So, I mean, your thoughts on the approach and just the overall draft that the Pelicans had?
Yeah, the phrase I use, Jimmy, with this group right now is it really feels like square peg, round hole. Meaning, okay, so you move on Griffith, which I understand. He had 6 years. He certainly had his chance. That's fair. So you bring everybody new in except your coach, which that's not unusual. But you have a coach who, don't forget, is a disciple, a direct disciple from Greg Popovich, meaning they're going to play defense first or they want to. And so when you try to get a tea leaf or a reading of what they're trying to build in terms of the new administration, because you want to give them a chance, it's really hard to figure out, well, what is the design? What's the plan? Now, to be fair to them, if you're drafting the lottery these days, Jimmy, you are going to draft a freshman. Unless there's a really good international player, you're going to take an 18 or a 19-year-old. That's just, with the first, I think it was 9 picks last night were freshmen. So you're going to deal with the youth. You hope that they can contribute. But, again, for a team that struggled last year to play defense, I just don't see a design. I don't see, hey, we want to run up, we want to run, or we want to be a 3-and-D team, or we're gonna center everything on Zion. It's hard to grasp what they're trying to build. That's puzzling.
The division's getting tough, huh?
Well, Houston's not going anywhere now, especially all chips are in the middle in that they have KD. I'm not as big a fan on that, by the way. I don't know that I would have done that. I think they could have stood pat because now it's going to be like, are they going to change to KD, or is KD going to change to them? And that's a little. Now, Udoka is a great coach, so maybe he'll figure it out. Dallas, obviously rebuilding, but with flags, they're going to be good. Memphis, head scratcher. I'm not sure, but yeah, look, the Pelicans should be odds-on favorite to finish last in that division.
Sengun had to carry so much on his back offensively for the Rockets in the playoffs. They had no dependable shooters whatsoever. And so, you don't know. You hope that these young pieces develop and improve their shot. That's the one aspect that's usually always improved. But still, you don't think they got him relatively on the cheap? They could have. We've seen some teams give up a lot more to bring in a piece like Kevin Durant, even past his prime.
Jimmy, you also got to factor in though. He's taken that's a healthy amount of salary that now he is going to absorb, and they don't want to pay the tax. So, again, they're going for it. Their chips are in the middle, so I applaud that.
All right, the Pelicans are the Bucks, and this is the piece that's really they're going to. Brian Windhorst this morning on ESPN reiterated, says, listen, the Bucks have not looking to trade Giannis. Giannis has not requested a trade, but circumstantially, how are they not going to look to move him? What's the possibilities of that the Giannis is traded, and then the Bucks' record is that much poorer, and then boom, that really makes the price you made to move up to get Queen that much more expensive.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'll push back a little bit. Here's why. A month ago, I would have been in line with what you just said. Now, let's look at the East. Jason Tatum, out. Tyrese Halliburton, out. Yeah. I think we've seen, who's the best team in the East for next year? Is it Cleveland? Is it?
Knicks.
Okay, well.
Cleveland and the Knicks.
Again, and you can't say that with any authority. So if I'm Milwaukee, and you have championship pedigree, you have arguably the top 5 player in the world still, their front office needs to get a little creative, but they're not that far away from being right there because those 2 guys I mentioned are not coming back next year. So you could pretty much take the Celtics and the Pacers maybe off the board. And so, the East looks a little different than it did a month ago. And again, Giannis is still, I think he's 31 years old maybe. He's top 5 in the world to me. So I think they're not ready to wave the white flag yet, but they got to get creative.
Well, both teams will be well coached. You know that. Cleveland's got a really strong coach, and the Knicks are going to get the old Hornets coach. He had a lot of success there, so that's next.
They done interviewing yet?
Henry, thank you, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, brother.
Okay, guys.
All right, we'll come back and wrap things up. We got some MMA picks for you when we come back from Max live at Ruffino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water.
Hold a second, please. All right, I'm ready to cut the promo whenever you are.
All right, go ahead.
This is Charles Sandegriff. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. We're at the Queen Casino in downtown Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Monday from the Queen on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That means it's okay. All right. No, it's good. I just need a little appetite. I'm gonna have
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Grostead, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Been a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Grostead exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
This is Charles Hanniger of Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, a chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The bench guy.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Ruffino's on Highland Road on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Max, lay it on me. What we got?
Yeah, UFC 317 this week. Great timing about the UFC, right? When everything's kind of dying, you got a pay-per-view, and it's a big one with a lot of close fights on the main card. The big one, though, the main event is not particularly close. Ilia Topuria, the champion, minus 455 against Charles Oliveira. I have no opinion on this. I would love for it to be Oliveira. He's a very popular figure, but I just think he's overmatched here. Just no value on the main event. But plenty of other fights in the main event or the main card that do interest me. Kai Kara France, plus 195, a nice underdog price for a guy who's great on his feet. Pantoja is undefeated or on a really good spell right now, but I just think Kai Kara France can keep this on his feet, and he's a better striker than Pantoja. So plus 195 is a good one, and new in that one. Beneil Dariush, minus 102, has lost 2 consecutive fights, but Money Moicano is just not that impressive to me either. He's a bit exposed with his chin, so he could get knocked out. But Dariush, I think he bounces back. He's been inactive for about a year and a half, but I think he could get back in the winner's circle. He's minus 102. So Dariush minus 102, Kai Kara France plus 195, and one more in the main card. Peyton Talbot plus 150, a big striker coming off his first loss in the UFC. I think he bounces back against Felipe Lima.
We go down to Beau Rivage, and so this is after basketball, before football, and it's when you draw the biggest fight crowds and things like that. Vegas. So this is prime season now for UFC. This is where they come in. They're going to have some of their stronger cards in the next few nights. Big time in Vegas, as well. And then we got a boxing match, sort of. Jake Paul in the latest tomato can, huh? Is it Cesar Chavez Sr. or Jr.?
Riddick Bowe? Available?
Riddick.
I was just trying to come up with a name from the past.
But no, you're going to see more of a crowd. You're going to see more of a handle as well. Not so. This is not Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Okay. Not even close.
And Jimmy, we're just 3 weeks away from it coming to New Orleans.
Oh, really?
Dustin Poirier, UFC 318.
Oh, it's his
last fight, retirement fight in the Smoothie King Center in 3 weeks.
That's
time.
cool.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
cool, man. But Louisiana product is a major, great career in this industry.
Thanks to the folks here at Ruffino's. Come by and get the filet skewers and the ribeye feature today.
And Sunday brunch is great. And look, next week we are closed for 4th of July, both on the show and also here at Ruffino's.
And we'll be at the Queen on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Live at lunch. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU